Hi everyone, it's Sophia here from Zen Guidance. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's pick a card reading. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different today, something a bit more light-hearted and hopefully you'll find quite fun. But I'll be looking at just trying to describe you as accurately as I can from the cards, which I have not seen. I'll be looking at them live at the same time as you. Okay, so it's really simple. If you haven't done a pick a card reading before, all you need to do is, look at each of these piles. I'm going to give you the pile numbers in a moment and just go with the one that you're drawn to most. You may be drawn to a crystal, you may be drawn to a specific number, you may be drawn to one and you don't know why. And you may be drawn to, maybe two. It's totally up to you. Pick as many as you like. But, I do recommend not maybe picking them all because that might be a little bit confusing. But, you do you. Okay, so I'm going to go to the pile selection now. So we have pile 1 with the snowflake obsidian. Pile 2 and the rose quartz. Pile 3, the opalite. So pretty. And then pile 4 with the angelites. Okay, so once you've made your choice, you can go to the description box below where you'll find the corresponding timestamps for your pile. Feel free to pause the video here for a moment if you like, if you want to meditate, if you just want to take a deep breath, just think about the question, and just go with your intuition. What does your gut tell you? And once you've made your choice, I'll see you at your reading. Okay, so we will start with pile number 1. Okay, so for those of you who chose pile number 1 and the snowflake obsidian, let's see. Okay, just give me a moment to just tap into the energies. Okay, so first thing I'm getting, I'll just go through the star signs that are coming up for me. So I have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Definitely that's strong coming through because we have 2 wand cards here, okay, which is fire. But we also have cup energy, so which is the water energy, so Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio, but we also have air, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. So, but not that we need to get too hung up on the star signs, but, this is just what I'm getting so far, okay? So you could be one of those. But I'm definitely getting this sense that you're very fiery, and you're very passionate. And I feel like you're a hard worker. I think that you've had some struggles, quite a lot of struggles in your life where you have felt conflicted and defeated by things. But I see you as a real fighter. Like, even though you've gone through a lot in your life, you just keep going. You keep going, and you're like but you do like back-breaking work, maybe, kind of thing. Maybe I don't know, you lift quite heavy things. You could work in the building trade or something, or building muscle, being a personal trainer, or something that I feel like you do some kind of physical work, or something that you're certainly very passionate about. I do feel like there is a kind of block within your heart chakra at this moment with the 4th chakra. Okay. Oh, sorry for that noise. That's my rabbits. So it's like, I feel like you're not ruled by your emotions. You're not the most overly emotional person. And I think that maybe you have pushed things down because of something that stems from childhood or some past issue. But it's like you've learned to just push them down and you just keep powering through. I feel like like I said, you're a real soldier. Like you soldier on, you carry on no matter what sort of comes your way. I feel like you've got a lot of resilience. And, you've got a lot of drive, and and passion. Okay, and I feel like people see that. You may come across as quite hard sometimes, especially as maybe you don't show this emotional side. You can come across as quite maybe even abrupt at points, and quite, like maybe even have a bit of a temper on you, but it's just that fieriness, and it's not like you mean to be so fiery at points, but I feel like that's just your way of expressing yourself. You're just passionate, and that's, whether it's for good or for bad, that's how you express your true feelings, rather than sort of in an overly emotional way. But I feel like at the moment you're coming through some sort of breakthrough, and I know that we're talking about describing you as a person, but I feel like this is really important. So I think that you are definitely at this very pivotal point in your life at this moment, where you're coming to some sort of realization or breakthrough, where you're starting to see things very differently. I feel like, and everything's starting to disperse and disband is what I'm getting. So I am just going to pull some more cards for you. Okay. Okay, so yeah, Knight of Cups reversed. King of Swords reversed. Justice reversed. Whoa, okay, Lovers reversed. Okay, so I'm getting some strong air energy coming through here. So we have the Libra card and we have Gemini here. Okay, so this is about things not being balanced or fair. I feel like you're definitely somebody maybe who fights for balance and fairness. You could work in the legal sector. You could even work in the police, or something where you like to keep balance and restore things as they should be. But I also feel like that there could even be a counselor or something, where you feel like it's like you're trying to bring people back together in some way. But again, this emotional unavailability keeps coming out as well. And, you could be somebody that is, again, quite cutthroat, could be quite, like I said, maybe come across as quite harsh. But again, I don't feel like you mean it. I think that, again, you only say things that you mean, and your words are valuable. Like, I feel like you're very intelligent, and you don't just say things to pay lip service. You're not somebody who is fake or is overly complimentary. You're just kind of like, you just lay everything to bear. You lay, what am I trying to say? You bear all, or you know what I'm saying. You don't hold back, and that can be quite intimidating to people. And because you've got this strength that radiates, you've definitely got this very alpha energy, it doesn't matter whether you are male or female, but I'm definitely getting the sense that you're somebody that does take control, and people tend to lean on you, and I think they lean on you quite a lot, and sometimes you need somebody to lean on. But I feel like you don't like to ask people for advice. You just like to sort of get on with things. But also, it's like, I feel like you're the person who don't want to miss any opportunities in life. And then that's where I see this go, go, go. I feel like you've got a lot of energy. You just want to keep moving forwards. If you sit still for too long, it drives you mad. So you have to just keep going and feel like you're working towards something. So it's like you don't want to miss anything, and you don't. I feel like, again, you're always on the ball, and you're ahead of the game. You're one of those people that is just always ahead. And maybe these incredible organizational skills where you know how to manage yourself. But I think sometimes, like I said, you may be a little bit harsh, and you could be a little bit harsh on yourself at times. I think I feel like you think showing emotion is as a weakness, or it makes you feel weak inside. So you have to it's like for you, you have to be able to control it. That's your way of control, is by sort of being able to push everything down. But balance is such an important thing that you feel, and I really do feel like that's coming through your work. And it could even come through if you said if you are doing something that's physical, like being a personal trainer, fitness instructor, or a builder or a carpenter or something like that. Everything has to be leveled, and I feel like that really is coming through quite strong in that regard. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to pull one Angels and Ancestors card. Arrow, surround yourself with protective energy. Again, this really speaks about you just moving forwards. Where is the arrow going? It's pointing up, okay, or it's pointing forwards, okay, whichever way you want to look at it. But this is like you shoot straight, okay. But I think this is also a message that you need to be careful to just make sure you protect yourself and your energy, because I think you expend a lot, and I think you could get exhausted quite easily. So I think it's important that sometimes you need to learn how to just take a rest, because I don't see you doing much of that a lot of the time. I think but I think that's really important as well. Sometimes you just take that time to relax, and be careful of who you're surrounding yourself with as well, because I feel like there's this insidiousness, okay, especially just choosing this crystal. I feel like you could easily get sucked into drama, or something quite negative, maybe in what you're, in potentially in your work environment, or even within your love life. I definitely get that sense that you need to be careful who you're surrounding yourself with. So make sure that you are, trying to be around the right people. But I feel like you just need to keep going forwards, keep moving, take some rests. But yeah, I mean, you're a go-getter, and you will keep going far. Okay, so I'm going to leave the reading there. I hope that it resonated for you, and I hope that I was able to describe you accurately. Please leave a comment as to how it resonated for you. I'd love to know. I read every single one, and I try to respond to as many as I can. And if you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to continue to see more videos from me. Okay, and I am open for personal readings at this time. I don't have very many slots available for this week, but if you just follow the information in the description box below, at the moment they're open, so just go on ahead. When I've got none left, I'll let you know. Okay. Pile number 2. So for those of you who chose pile number 2 and the rose quartz. Let's see. Okay. Oh wow, I just noticed. Same cards here, 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Coins. Okay, and then we've got Pentacles here, so I mean, you could be a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn, or you've definitely got some earthy energy in your chart. So check your natal chart. But I'm definitely getting that sense. There's a lot of earth energy, there's a lot of stability, but there is some fear in you. I think that you hold back when even I think that you've got a lot of ambition and a lot of drive, but there is something that you keep holding back from, and you are you feel fearful of, and maybe you've had some issues with money in the past, maybe you've had some financial issues currently, but this is describing you, but this is what I'm getting. I get this sense that you maybe you're just quite a fearful person in general. You're scared of spending money, or you're scared of being open and honest about something, but we can come back to that as we go along. And I think at some points you don't feel like things have necessarily gone your way, and maybe your life hasn't been filled with material abundance. But I do see that it's with this victory and success. I mean, I feel like you do succeed in what you do, and I feel like whenever you put your mind to something you go for it, and I feel like this is you then releasing some fear, and that's the only way. I feel like every time you achieve something, you have to, it's like you really have to really push yourself to do it, and you know, that shows so much strength. There's a lot of strength in you, even though I think that at times you feel a little bit timid, and you feel afraid, of maybe even revealing your true self, or you know, actualizing your dreams and your goals. But when you really do that, I feel like you come up on top. So I feel like you're somebody, you need to have more faith in yourself. You know, there may come points where you don't feel you've got a lot of self-love at points. I think sometimes you can be down on yourself when you shouldn't, and just make sure that you're appreciating, you know, the gifts that you really have, because I see a lot of them. Okay, I see this potential to be very grounded, rooted, strong, you know, a real rock. Okay, I feel like you are as solid as a rock. Okay, and you just need to believe in yourself. 8 of Wands. So it could be you could be a fire sign, Aries, a Leo, Sagittarius. Yeah. Could also be an air sign. Wow. Okay. Okay, so we also have Scorpio here, but we have a lot of air. I feel like you're somebody who definitely moves. I think that you move quite slowly. I don't think that you're somebody who sort of goes fast in anything. I think that you like to take your time, but I do feel a lot of this, again, it's this fear. It's feeling like you may feel trapped, okay? And I'm seeing a lot of mental anguish and stress. Like, I think anxiety is a big thing for you. Okay, I think that it's something that, like, your mind, it plays tricks on you. You're not always seeing things as they are, and I think that's what really you can struggle with, and it holds you back in many ways. And it makes you feel like you're a failure at points. You know, it makes you feel like you just don't have everything together. But I see that there is a lot of, you know, this is the death card, so don't be afraid of this, and it's reversed. So, you know, but this just shows, I think you've got a lot of depth to you, but I think that you can go to quite a dark place. You could be quite interested in, you know, crime, criminology, forensics, that kind of stuff, but stuff that's really deep. Maybe even you know, nature programs or something like that, excavation, archaeology. Something that is just kind of, it's dark, it's underneath, even sort of scuba diving or something. I feel like that's where a lot of your interests lie, because I think you spend so much time up in your head, but I think that you're somebody who can really dissect details. Okay, I think you're very good at looking at the minute things, and I think that can be a blessing and a curse. So maybe within your job, depending on what it is you do, I feel like whatever you do is very detail orientated, and that's why you're so good, because you're kind of a perfectionist. You could be like a Virgo. Virgos tend to be quite perfectionists, but somebody who's quite analytical, and again, you're able to zone in on things, but then I feel like that's where your head can sometimes take you to a bad place, especially if it's, you know, in regards to your personal life, and maybe even your work life. Like, you take it back with you, and you struggle to deal with it. I definitely see a lot of stress. Okay, right, what else we got? Okay, Fire Guardian, ignite your passions. Okay. Wow. Okay. Two number twos there. So I don't know if two is relevant to you in some way. Okay. Maybe you have two children, two dogs, or two different boyfriends, girlfriends, people. I don't know. I don't know. But I definitely feel like, but that is definitely a number of connection and choices. Okay. So maybe it's a level of feeling indecisive. Maybe you can be quite indecisive. And I think that that can be down to, again, these thoughts, okay? But I also feel like you're a very emotional person. I think you're somebody who is very in touch with their emotions. And you could be quite creative as well. I feel like that there's definitely this this fire and passion in you. And I think that it could be, you know, in a creative way. You could be quite artistic. Maybe you like drawing, painting, or just creating in some form, fashion, or there's definitely something, you know, home design or garden design. I don't know. I'm definitely getting this very kind of creative, imaginative vibe coming through here from you. And I feel like maybe you can be quite impatient at times as well. You don't like to wait for things, even though and I think that that's what can cause you some mental stress as well, because I think time can be a real issue for you. And like, you know, it's like you put a lot of pressure on yourself that you need to rush into something, when really it's okay to just step back for a moment. But I think, again, your emotions can override that sometimes. And I think you can feel very intensely. And that's why sometimes I think you just need to take a little step away from things, because your head just gets very wrapped up in what's going on for you emotionally. You could also have some, you know, you could feel your stress in the stomach. You could have sort of stomach issues, you know, or even sort of water infections or something like that. You know, that's how it manifests for you in some way. But also I'm feeling like headaches. Maybe you get some headaches and stuff, because I think that you just overly stress yourself out, which is, you don't need to. You really don't need to, because there's so much beauty to you, okay, inside and outside. I do feel like you're a very attractive person, and I think you've got this very young look about you. I mean, I'll come back to that in a moment, but I'm definitely now getting the sense that and I feel like you have dark hair. Okay, I haven't, if it comes to me, it comes to me. But for the last one, I didn't get a visual. Okay, but I am getting more of a visual. This one, I'm definitely feeling like you've got either dark hair, it could be thick, it could be long, curly, but I'm sensing that you've got a lot of it. And I think that you are quite admired for the way that you look. I feel like you're somebody that a lot of people tend to be very attracted to and very drawn to. But again, I think it's what can cause some of this anxiety, because I feel like there's a level of being quite empathic, maybe even a little bit psychic or intuitive. And again, people are drawn to you, which I think you appreciate, and you enjoy the attention, because why not? But I do feel like it sometimes can get a bit much for you, and it can be a bit overwhelming, and that's where it can cause you some stress. And then it's like you just need to take a time out, but it can kind of send you spiraling backwards sometimes. And I think because you try to do too much too quickly, not being patient with yourself, and then you kind of get yourself in a bit of a fluster, and then you kind of throw in the towel. But you have so much potential to succeed. And I think that's a very strong message that's coming through, because of this really acute eye for detail, and this thinking outside the box, imaginative imagination that you have is so unique. You have a lot of gifts, okay, that could make you succeed. But it's just, I feel it's very important that you work on your mind and your mental health, and to try to be more present, stop sort of ruminating in the negative, the past, the future. Try and live in more presently, and I think that's what will really help you to move forwards in a more successful way, and just have more passion and compassion and patience for yourself, and stop being so fearful, okay? You don't need to be so afraid. Like I said, there's a lot of blessings and abundance that you have in your life. and you have a lot of gifts and beauty, and you just need to utilize that and just have faith in yourself that everything will be okay, because I see that for you. Okay, I'm going to leave that reading there. Thank you so much for watching. If that resonated with you, I'd love to know how it did, so please feel free to leave me a comment. And if you'd like a personal reading, you can check the description box below for all of those details there. Okay, so for those of you who chose pile number 2 and the opalite, let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. So I definitely see, so the first thing I'm saying is that you're a hard worker. Okay, so I feel like whatever you do in your work, I think that you're a steady worker, and you are working towards your goals. Okay, and I feel like you're working towards them with confidence. I feel like you're a very confident and outgoing person, and I think you're somebody that's very in tune, with their personal power, with this solar plexus. I feel like is really shining like the sun, and you could be a Leo. But I'm definitely getting this sun, like you're a ray of sunshine. But then there is this, with this darkness here, with the hostilities card, but it's in reverse here. So I feel like maybe that you've had a few hostilities in your life, but I'm definitely saying that it was in the past, and I think you've let go of a lot of stuff. Like, I think that there was a lot of hurt and there was a lot of anger in your past, so maybe you were quite angry, maybe you got into a lot of arguments when you were young, in the family home, or even in an abusive kind of relationship. And sorry, this is describing you, and this is just what's coming through for me now. I just have to get it out. But I'm definitely seeing, that you've let go, and that you've moved on from a lot of this pain and a lot of this hostility. Okay, and I think you had a lot of hostility for yourself, but I see that you really have come into your own. I think that you're in a really powerful place right now, and I think that you really have learned to let go of fear. I think that in the past you were very fearful about moving forwards, about being true to yourself, about being authentically you, but I feel like now you finally decided to let that go, which is really, really beautiful. I love this for you. I don't know, you've just got this really shining quality, again, that sort of, you light up a room. Okay, you light up the room, and you walk in, people like stop to notice you. Okay, stand your ground. Okay, and I'm definitely getting this sense that you're quite spiritual as well. I think, you could be into spirituality and divination, such as, the tarot. Oh, what was that? Okay, and or you could be into Reiki, or whatever your spiritual path or journey is. I feel like you're on it. Okay, and I think you're very much connecting with your spirit guides or your angels. And if you're not, I feel like it's a strong message to say that they are with you, and the fact that you even chose the opalite crystal, that's a crown chakra crystal there. So that's very, very spiritual, about connection with the divine. Okay, fulfillment of wishes. Okay, oh wow. Okay, so I just said the crown chakra. There we go, crown chakra, number 7 as well. Lots of 7s, very spiritual number. It's interesting that it's reversed though, but we'll come back to that. Okay, and harmony. Okay, so you may feel like, if your crown chakra is blocked, you may feel like you've lost the connection. Maybe you had this connection, but you feel like you've lost it, or you're losing the faith in some way. But it could even be overactive. Maybe it's sort of a bit much for you. Maybe you're seeing things, maybe you're seeing ghosts that you don't want to see, or you're sort of too in tune. Okay, so it could be one way or the other. Only you will know where you are at this point. But I definitely see there's a real spiritual psychicness. Oh, that's not even a word, is it? Psychicness. I feel like you really do have psychic abilities. Okay, and this is where you store them, in your solar plexus. So I think that's really important. You know, if you don't realize yet, I feel like you need to realize, I mean, we all have the power to be psychic, okay? It's within us all to achieve, but I feel like it was always there with you, and it's always very naturally been there with you. And I think this is where some of this hostilities and these past issues have come in as well, because I think that you were maybe wise beyond your years, maybe emotionally quite mature, but spiritually very connected. You could have had sort of night terrors, or sort of seeing things when you were a child, because you're more susceptible to these things when you're a child. So I don't know, I'm getting that maybe that was causing you some upheaval and you didn't even realize. But I'm definitely seeing this animosity when you were growing up, and this lack of harmony. I felt like you just did not have the happiest of upbringings, and it's not to say that anyone was to blame, or it was anybody's fault. It's not about playing the blame game here. It's just that I feel like regardless, in yourself, you just didn't feel like you had harmony. And maybe you don't feel like you've had harmony throughout a lot of your life. You kind of feel like you've had to fight for a lot of things. You've had to go through a lot of hurt. You know, you may have lost a lot of people. You may have been betrayed. I'm definitely getting that sense. There's this hurt, okay, in you. And this feeling of disconnection. You may have had some, you know, relationship troubles. I mean, you know, and I know that's quite a blanket statement. We've all had relationship troubles, but I think you especially have really struggled with that. But I do see that you are overcoming. Okay, you are moving through into a really powerful place. And I feel like things are starting to change for you. I think that you've been in a period where you were trying to make a decision and a choice about something, but I see that, like, at this moment, I think that you're coming to a decision, or you are about to come to a decision about which direction you're going to take your life in. And I think that you just really want to I think you want to change maybe your career or your path, and you want to do something different, and you want to feel like you're doing something that's emotionally fulfilling, something that you feel happy in. And it could be, like I said, career, or even could be, you know, just in your situation, you want to meet somebody, get into a relationship, have children, or, you know, I'm definitely getting this sense where you've got this nurturing side to you. You've got a really kind side to you. Definitely getting a lot of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Again, it could be your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign, so check your chart. But I'm really getting this warm, loving feeling to you, where you give a lot of love, but you also need it back. And I feel like that has been lacking at certain points in your life. And I think, you know, this is where you're in a really strong position at this point. And again, because you've gone through so much and you've come through the other side, I feel like this has made you really strong. You're resilient. You're independent. And, you know, it's really... you've got great coping mechanisms and great coping skills, again, because of what you've been through. So I feel like you know how to stand on your own 2 feet, and you are really striving. And I feel like this is where this, you know, change in perspective is coming through. And I feel like maybe it could even be, you know, your spirit guides or somebody is giving you signs to say you need to do something else, and something that you enjoy. Something that you find fulfilling, something that helps people. You could be you could be a healer, and maybe that's what you want to change to. You want to do something holistic. You could already be doing something like that, but maybe you want to sort of, you know, sort of move in a slightly different direction, or expand in some context. But I'm definitely getting the sense, if you're not healing or helping people in a caring way, that's what you want to do. And I think that you'd be really good at that, because you've been through a lot. You've got a lot of life experience. You've got a lot of experience with trauma and pain and anger. So I feel like and because you've managed to actually come through the other side, and you're stronger for it, you're a great person to advise. So, you could even be a great counselor or something. Okay, autumn, release the old and rest. Yeah, I feel like, again, because you've released a lot of the old, you have released the past, you have released the hurt, the hostilities, the arguments, the pain. And I do feel like it's now time for you to rest, okay? I don't think it's a time for you to move forwards too quickly with what it is. I think you need to just, again, allow the signs to come in. You might feel like at points you need to rush to make a decision, but you don't. And I think that, I really getting this, I don't know who it is, okay, and who is coming through, there is somebody for you who is urging you. It's really strange. I've not had this before like that. But somebody is urging you to do something that is more meaningful, okay? And that it's something that's going to help people. And I feel like it's going to be helping people to release pain. So you could even be a nurse or a doctor, or something where you're helping somebody release physical pain or emotional, mental pain, whether it's conventional or the unconventional route. I'm definitely getting that sense that that's the kind of, that's the kind of person you are. And you have so much to give. You have a ton to give people, and that people would really benefit from. And you would as well, because you would have this fulfillment with what you do, okay? Six of Wands reversed. Again, could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Queen of Pentacles. Okay. I feel like you need to let go of maybe what others may think of you, okay? Don't be concerned, okay? Because that's what I feel like maybe that can hold you back, other people's opinions on things, letting people talk you out of something that you really want to do, or worried about, again, like people's perception of you. And I do feel like it's time for you to let your guard down. And I think you are. I think you're learning how to be more authentic to you. You're learning how to be more truthful about what you want. So yeah, you're definitely going through a big change right now. So at this very moment you're watching this, as I'm describing you, you're going through a change and a transition. And I see that, it looks beautiful. I think it's you're in a great manifesting state. And I think you're dreaming big. Okay, and I think this is all going to move through really positively for you. And I just think you need to keep dreaming in this positive way, and then putting in those steps, not worrying what others may say or think, as long as it's something that you enjoy and it's something that you can continue with honesty. I think that you're going to succeed. Okay, where was it? The solar plexus. Have that confidence and that power within you, because you have come on so far, and I think you're only just going to keep on growing and expanding in such a beautiful and strong way. So yeah, that's you're very inspirational. Okay, you're inspiring me right now. So thank you so much for inspiring me, and I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'm going to leave it there. So if it resonated, please let me know how it did. I'd love to know. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Instagram, so you can look me up, Sophia Vicente _ but my name is in the description box. I'm also taking private readings at this time. Information is below. Okay, so for those of you who chose pile number 3 and the Angel Light, here is your reading. I feel like I'm missing a card here. That's very... Oh no, it's here. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of air here. Start with the star signs, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Also have fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay. But check your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign, okay? Because it could be, you could have it in your chart. Um, I mean, with the judgment there, I do feel like you could do something sort of trying to like work balance things out, working in the legal sector of some kind, or just like, sort of making sure that things are fair and they are just. But I think that you're quite an analytical person. You're very much up in your head a lot. You're a big thinker. Okay, I think that you're very intelligent. I think that you think things through. Okay, but I think you can overthink too much at points, and you're not always very honest. I feel like you keep a lot inside. You don't reveal what's going on in your head very much. I think that you stay up here quite a lot, and I think you like to have your alone time. I think being alone is really important to you, but sometimes it can kind of backfire in some way because you isolate yourself in some ways, because you don't open up and reveal your feelings. You don't open up and always reveal the truth. You definitely keep yourself very guarded, okay? But I do feel like as well there's this, I mean, you could be, say, the firefighter, okay, just what came in, or something where you're putting out fires. I feel like you're somebody who knows how to put out fires. Okay, so don't have to take that literally, but I think that maybe within your career or even as a person, you're somebody that's a great mediator. You know how to calm a situation down. Okay, I feel like you've got this this calm way about you, probably because you don't talk. I think it doesn't seem to me like you're a very big talker. Again, you're a big thinker, but when you are needed, you are really you are full of knowledge. I think that you're somebody who likes to study and maybe spend a lot of time alone learning new things. And then, but when it comes to other people, you're very good at just sort of ironing things out, straightening everything out, putting out fires where need to be put. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? Definitely got a lot of, excuse me, definitely got a lot of air. Okay, we also have now Taurus, Virgo, oh, God's sake, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It's very late, to be honest. It's nearly 12 o'clock at night. So yeah, this will be my last reading and I must go to bed. Okay, oh, the Emperor. Okay. Okay. So I do get this sense that maybe you are some kind of mediator, like you could be a counselor, like a relationship counselor, or like it's definitely something about sorting out rifts between two people or trying to get two people to work together in some way. I definitely see you as a hard worker. And again, I feel like you're quite, you can be quite reserved, okay? But you're not afraid. I think that maybe at one point in your life you may have felt afraid in some ways, but I don't see that for you anymore. I think that you've released a lot of fear. You've released a lot of anxiety and maybe some self-denial that you may have been in. But I don't see that. I think that because you think very clearly, I don't think that... I think. There's a lot of thinking. Again, you think so much, I can't stop saying it. You think a lot, but I don't see that you overthink as much. Like it doesn't seem to get too toxic for you. You seem to manage it quite well. Like you seem to stay in control. You are very controlled, and I think that you can really take authority. And I feel like there's a level of people may feel a little bit intimidated by you, because you have this very strong like air about you. You have a very strong quality. When people come across you, they're kind of a bit sort of so they feel just a slight intimidation, like not sort of like where people are afraid, but kind of like they respect you, but also you have to, because I feel like there's a bit of mystery about you because you don't reveal everything. You intelligent, you work really hard, but you don't sort of wear your heart on your sleeve. You can be quite calculated, and again, not in a negative way. Again, it's like I feel like you calculate everything. You don't, you're not the most impulsive type of person, or you're not impulsive at all. Again, it's everything's kind of strategic, and it's planned. Okay, but as I say that, we then have the Fool. So I can take that back. I'm going to take it back. I think so. You do have this side to you that is quite carefree. I think that this is something, there's like a need in you to be able to be more carefree. But I don't think that you allow yourself to be too often. I think this is something maybe you let out of the box every now and again, where you just want to be a bit impulsive. You just want to sort of run for the hills. You want to do something fun and exciting and not really give it too much thought. But I feel like most of the time you're quite restrained and controlled. But like I said, I don't think, I don't know, you seem quite like a cool, calm and collected type of person. Again, and it doesn't seem like a lot really phases you. Okay. Universe. Shadow. Authority. Okay, so this is the same card. It's the equivalent, the Emperor and the Authority card. So you could be a boss. You could be somebody that manages your own company. Or I feel like you manage other people. Okay, sorry, I just need to sit down for a moment because that's really uncomfortable. Oh, for my knees. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, I feel like that you're somebody that is in charge. And I said maybe you are, self-employed, or you own your own business, and maybe it's just you and you only manage yourself. Or if you work for a company, I feel like you manage or micromanage others. Not micromanage, but you know what I mean. Yeah, and I think that you can be quite strict, but I feel like you're fair. I don't think that you are. I think you're a very fair boss. Okay, whether that's to yourself or to others. I think that. You try to make things as balanced as possible, and so you can work in harmony. I feel like working in harmony is really important to you, and I feel like you're somebody who maybe is quite black and white. Okay, so there's not much of a grey area with you. It's kind of right or wrong, yes or no, black or white. And I think sometimes you struggle to use your intuition. And I think you can maybe be a little bit too logical at points. And sometimes you need to just go with your gut and listen to signs from the universe. What signs are you receiving that maybe you're not noticing? Maybe you'll start noticing them now. Notice what sort of numbers you may be seeing in a sequence, the times or buses that go by, whatever it is that you may see, or whatever signs that come through. I feel like that's really important that you need to take note of that, because I think that with all of your thinking and this, making sure, I feel like you have to have everything together. Everything has to look controlled. You can't look like you're losing it in any way, but it doesn't show, you're not showing any vulnerability, which is fine, that's you, and that's part of the reasons that makes you a beautiful person. Okay, inside and out. I feel like we're all so different in our own ways, and we need people like you who are just who are great thinkers, who are intelligent, who get the job done, without thinking too emotionally about it or too intuitively. But I do feel like if you wanted to work on something, that's something that you could do. So even just simply, like I said, just listening to your gut feeling. What's the first thing that pops into your mind, when you're looking to make a decision? And I feel like you have to make lots of decisions in your work and in your life. You do need to make these decisions. So the universe can really help you in making those decisions if you let it. So, also the fact that you picked the angelite crystal, that is a very spiritual crystal. Okay, this is really in connecting to your angels. So, by just allowing yourself to connect, trusting yourself with your decision making, you know, sometimes just going with that your first instinct, and it will really take you far. But I see, you know, you're a hard worker, but you just also need to have a little bit more fun. It's okay to be carefree sometimes. It's okay to let your hair down and to just, you know, not think too much about the future, or about the consequences. You know, because I think that you work so hard and you deserve a little bit of a rest as well. Okay, so I'm going to leave the reading there for you. Thank you so much for watching, and if it resonated for you, I'd love to know how it did, so please feel free to leave me a comment. Hit the for God's sake, hit the thumbs up. Oh, sorry. Give me a thumbs up if you'd like. No, for God's sake. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos from me. And please follow me on Instagram, _. Information is in the description box below. And if you'd like a private reading, you can also go to the description box. I only have a couple of spaces left for private readings this week. So if you'd like one, you need to get in there quickly. But I will have some more spaces that will open up as of next week. But they seem to be filling up quite fast at the moment. Okay, so I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. I'm going to get my tired ass off to bed now, and I will see you soon. Take care, everyone.